Okay, so I just got done having a conversation that really took me back to when I started one of my first businesses and just this mindset that I had to do more. Like I had to offer more. I had to be more for my clients and my potential clients to try and get people to like me and work with me. And after years of believing that, I've finally been able to rewire my brain because it turns out I was wrong, right? I learned that over time that in reality, doing less is going to make you more. It's going to make you more money. It's going to make you more profit. Especially if you're a coach or an expert or a mentor of some sort, like you're teaching somebody a skill and you're getting paid for it. So if you don't know me, my name is Kevin Weiss. I am a mentor to high ticket business owners who do exactly that. They sell their skill and they teach somebody how to do something and get some sort of result. And over the last few years, I've been able to work with coaches in 23 different niches, help them generate a whole bunch of revenue for their businesses, but more importantly, be able to simplify things so that they can really build their business around their lifestyle rather than how most people do it. They do it the other way around. They build their business, and then their lifestyle kind of has to fit, their life has to fit in it, and it kind of takes over everything. So I help them do it the other way. And having this conversation, it took me back to one of my first businesses that I had as a financial advisor, and that was years ago. But one of the things that we were kind of taught or encouraged to do was that the world of financial advising, there's like so many different things. But the area that I was in, I started out in insurance, right? So I was working with like life insurance and disability insurance and cancer insurance, all these different types of insurance. And one of the things that it was kind of expected that you do as you progress in your career is you go and you get different licenses, right? So if you're meeting with a client and maybe you're talking with them about getting some life insurance, right? And all of a sudden you're kind of looking through some of their stuff, trying to figure out what's going on, fact find, if you will. You end up finding out that they've got some investment accounts or something like that, right? If you don't have the license, you can't help them with that. And it doesn't make this, comprehensive sort of plan. And so the idea was you start out, with your insurance license, and then you get the certain investment license, so you can kind of help people with different types of investments. And then from there, you get another license to help create financial plans and be able to sell the plan itself. And I basically followed that path right through, and I thought, "You know what? If I want to be able to help people the best I can, I need to be everything for them, right? They need to be able to come to me for insurance and for investments and for like a comprehensive plan." Some people would even go as far as getting different types of insurance licenses, like property casualty, so they can handle their, home and auto insurance and stuff like that. And what I found out was that it's very difficult to do that. Like it took me so much time and energy, one, to study and to get the licenses and to be able to keep them up. But then when you're working with a client, like depending on what you're doing, there's so many different processes you have to follow, different types of paperwork that you have to fill out, different ways that you have to have the conversation. You become more of a generalist, somebody who can do everything for somebody, or at least a lot of it, but you can't really do any of it super well. And so I found out that kind of the hard way. Just being told this is kind of the process that you follow, and so I did it. I didn't really know any better at that point, but over time, I learned this. The same thing applies for you as a coach, or an expert or a mentor. Or even just a service provider. So for a while, I had an agency, and one of the things that I focused on was running ads for clients. Facebook, Instagram ads, that kind of stuff. And what ended up happening is I'd create this strategy, like here's the approach that we're going to take to try and sell your thing or get more leads or whatever. And then I would actually run the ads for them. But turns out I experienced this thing where, that kind of that got to be everything to everyone kind of came back. And I found myself and my business quickly writing copy for people, creating video ads, writing emails, doing like all of these different things other than like the core thing that I was the best at. And it got really good results for the clients, but for me as the business owner, like, I just hated it. I felt like I was doing a million different things at once, and I couldn't really focus and get really good at anything. And then when it came to my business, like, I could speak to the results that I got for people, but speaking to how I got those results became really hard because this person, I'd say, I could say I helped them with emails and their email sequence and made them, X amount in a month or like whatever results they got. But then this person I would talk about, I was running ads and kind of here's the results that they got for that. And this, so all these different things that I was doing, and it didn't really create any momentum in my business. I got great results, but it didn't help me get a lot more clients. I never became known for that, for like, running ads and having a marketing strategy, like a paid marketing strategy. And that was really frustrating for for me. But the reason for it was because I was trying to be everything for everybody rather than really specializing and being the person that everyone goes to for this thing, right? Rather than being the person that a few people go to for all this stuff, right? And it made my business way too complex. Things were not efficient. It was not as effective as it could have been. And I just felt like my focus was split. I couldn't optimize any processes in my business because I'm doing all these different things at once. And even when you have a team or something, it makes it really hard to be able to manage everything, right? So whether, and I've experienced this as a solopreneur working in my own business, but also with some of these other businesses that I've supported, like big business, 8-figure businesses, they got massive teams. Um, when they're focusing on too many things, trying to be too many things for too many people, they just like their profit, they might still make a ton of revenue, but their profit goes way down. They're just not as effective. And one story that, really it was an awesome experience that I had. I was working with this coach. She's like a blogging coach, right? She'd travel the world and she'd create a blog about her travels and be able to, sell ads on her page and this and that. And she got really, really good at it. And so she started teaching other people, right? Naturally, like when you develop a skill, you want to be able to share that skill with other people and help them be able to benefit. So she became this travel blogging coach, and her business did really well. But she got to this point, after hitting 6 figures, she kind of got stuck for a little bit. And it was this thing where like she was so overwhelmed in her business from having to do all of these different things that she was actually considering quitting, like shutting the whole thing down, walking away and just like leaving it in the past, even though it was something she enjoyed and she was really good at. She was great at helping people. The business, it became this like beast for her to try and manage, and it was too complex. It just wasn't smooth. And so one of the big conversations that I had with her was about what she's doing, what she's offering to people. And what came of that conversation was she was doing too many things. And so what I suggested, strongly suggested that she do is create what I call an access offer. It's like one specific offer. What's one thing that you offer in your business that you are the absolute best at? And like I said, everybody knows you for that thing, and so they come to you when they need help with that. Like you're the specialist. You're not this generalist that a few people go to and you get them okay results, but you're like frazzled because you're doing too many different things. You're somebody who's really focused. You've got, you know, got the systems down. You're efficient, you're methodical with your work, you're enjoying it because you're like in this flow state all the time rather than jumping from thing to thing to thing. And what was amazing is we helped her eliminate one of her offers that she had been selling for a long time, but just it was taking up too much time. People weren't getting as good of results as they could. And we focused on one access offer for her. And I call it that because it revolves around people's access to her, right? People would pay her for the level of access that they get with her. And when she made that shift to just focusing on one thing, really doing less, doing less than she was before, she went from making 14,000 a month in revenue to over 70,000 a month. But not only that, it was at a 74% profit margin. So it was incredibly more profitable than what she was doing before. And she was making a heck of a lot more money because it became simple, right? Not only simple for her, as a business owner to be able to run this thing and operate it as a solopreneur or something, like even somebody with a small team, but it became more simple for her potential clients, right? They're making a decision on one thing. Right. It's either yes or no. They don't have to like choose between. I think of it kind of like if I go to a restaurant, my wife and I love to try different types of foods and stuff like that. But one of the hardest things to do when you go to a new restaurant that you've never been to before is you look at the menu, and some of these restaurants have I think of the Mexican restaurants. If you've ever been to like which is one of those Mexican restaurants, they've got page after page after page of menu items. And you're like, oh my gosh, where do I even start with this? Like, it's so confusing. But then you've got some of those other restaurants that they've got they're more of the high end restaurants. They've got just a few things for you to choose from. It's all like nice and neat on one page. You've got, all the courses of your meals fit on literally one page. Like that, so that's the difference between the two. One of them for your clients is going to create confusion, like, and confusion leads to people not making a decision, right? Their decision is to leave because I don't want to make a decision. It's too complex. I don't want to think about it. I got too much stuff going on in my mind. Versus this other thing where it's like it's simple, it's easy. You could choose. It's not hard, right? They can make a decision fast, and so with her business, that was what it became. There was one thing she offered. People could say yes or no to it. And not only that, but it allowed her to focus better. It gave her clients better focus. She was able to optimize her business and really create some leverage around things, right? When you're doing too many things, you don't even have the ability to create systems. Like and even the systems, you if you do create them, you can't make them better because you're jumping from thing to thing so frequently. So she was able to actually create some really good systems for her business. It made things way more efficient. Not only that, but there ends up being less overhead, right? When you get really good at something, you could do it faster, you could do it cheaper, and that leads to more profit. Complexity, like making this big thing, does not lead to more profit. It leads to more confusion for you and your clients. So for me, in my business, I have one high value access offer. That's it. It's one simple offer that I focus on, and it allows me to run a very lean business with very high profit margins. I'm not out there trying to sell a whole bunch of different things. And that's what I recommend to all of the coaches, and consultants and experts and mentors that I work with, is just focus on one thing. It's better to be amazing at one thing than be okay or probably bad at like a whole bunch of different things. The idea is this: do less, hone your focus, try and make things more simple, more efficient, more effective, and you're going to make way more profit in less time and with less effort.